Picture this, a massive luxury cruise ship, the Costa Concordia, gliding gracefully along the coast of Italy. Over 4,200 passengers and crew were enjoying the height of opulence. Fine dining, live entertainment, and the promise of adventure on the high seas. But suddenly, luxury turned into chaos. A deafening crunch echoed through the night, sending plates shattering and people stumbling. The once unstoppable vessel tilted violently, plunging into darkness. What went so disastrously wrong on that fateful night in January 2012? Was it human error, sheer arrogance, or something more sinister? And most importantly, what lessons does this maritime tragedy teach us about leadership, preparedness, and survival? Buckle up as we dive into the 5 shocking truths uncovered from the wreckage of the Costa Concordia. One of the most shocking revelations from the Costa Concordia disaster is how arrogance played a central role in the tragedy. Captain Francesco Schettino, a man with decades of maritime experience, made a decision that would forever haunt him. Ignoring standard navigation protocols, he brought the ship dangerously close to the island of Giglio to perform a salute, a showy maneuver meant to impress passengers and locals. This reckless decision set off a chain reaction of events that ended in disaster. Why would someone in a position of such immense responsibility take such a risk? It's a sobering reminder of how overconfidence can cloud judgment and lead to catastrophic consequences. The lesson here: arrogance blinds us to danger. Whether you're leading a team, piloting a ship, or simply making daily decisions, overestimating your abilities while underestimating risks can have devastating results. The Costa Concordia stands as a chilling example of what happens when ego takes the helm. When disaster struck, leadership crumbled. The Costa Concordia disaster revealed not just the captain's arrogance but his failure to lead in a moment of crisis. Captain Schettino abandoned ship while passengers were still on board, violating the age-old maritime tradition of the captain being the last to leave. The chaos escalated as crew members struggled to communicate evacuation procedures. Passengers, left without clear guidance, panicked, scrambling to save themselves. Leadership doesn't just mean holding a title, it means taking responsibility, especially in moments of crisis. This failure wasn't just a personal flaw but a systemic issue. Proper training and protocols could have mitigated the chaos, saving lives. The tragedy teaches us a painful truth. Leadership isn't about power, it's about accountability. When leaders fail, everyone suffers. On paper, the Costa Concordia was prepared for anything. Emergency drills were conducted, lifeboats were in place, and the crew was trained, or so it seemed. But when the disaster struck, this illusion of preparedness shattered. Many passengers reported they had never participated in a safety drill. Crew members, caught off guard, were unsure of evacuation procedures. The lifeboats couldn't be launched due to the ship's tilt, leaving hundreds stranded. Preparedness isn't about having protocols written in manuals. It's about ensuring they can be effectively executed in real time. This is a powerful lesson for all of us. Are we truly prepared for the unexpected, or are we merely checking boxes? The Costa Concordia disaster teaches us that preparation must be practiced and tested, not just assumed. The hours after the Costa Concordia struck the rocks were crucial. Decisions made, or not made, during that time determined who survived and who didn't. Unfortunately, hesitation and miscommunication reigned. Captain Schettino delayed the call for evacuation, insisting that the situation was under control. This precious time, which could have been used to get passengers safely to lifeboats, was wasted. Meanwhile, passengers were left in the dark, literally and figuratively, as the power failed, and clear instructions never came. In moments of crisis, every second counts. Hesitation can turn a bad situation into a catastrophic one. The Costa Concordia is a stark reminder of how critical it is to make swift, informed decisions during emergencies. Whether you're navigating a sinking ship or a life-changing decision, hesitation can cost dearly. The ability to act decisively under pressure is not just a skill but a necessity. Perhaps the most chilling lesson from the Costa Concordia disaster is how complacency sets the stage for tragedy. The ship's crew and operators believed their vessel was unsinkable, a modern marvel of engineering that nothing could touch. This false sense of security led to relaxed safety protocols, insufficient training, and an atmosphere of overconfidence. Even passengers bought into this illusion, ignoring safety drills and dismissing the possibility of danger. It wasn't until the lights went out and the water started pouring in that reality hit, and by then, it was too late. This is a lesson for everyone. Never assume safety is guaranteed. Whether in life or at sea, complacency is a dangerous trap. Stay vigilant, prepared, and always question the systems you rely on. Because, as the Costa Concordia showed us, even the most advanced technology can't replace human caution. As the ship tilted further, chaos erupted. Passengers stumbled through dark hallways, the sound of water rushing in growing louder with every passing second. The evacuation was disorganized and frantic. Lifeboats couldn't be lowered, passengers panicked, and the crew struggled to maintain order. Some passengers took to the icy waters, clinging to debris, while others prayed for rescue on the ship's remaining dry sections. Meanwhile, rescue teams scrambled to reach the scene, facing a race against time. For those trapped, it was a night of unimaginable terror. This tragedy wasn't just a failure of systems or leadership, it was a deeply human one. Each story from that night paints a picture of fear, bravery, and loss. It reminds us that when systems fail, it's the human spirit that must rise to the challenge. Behind every shipwreck are human stories, some of courage, others of heartbreaking loss. On the Costa Concordia, these stories unfolded in the most dramatic and devastating ways. Families were separated in the chaos, friends helped each other navigate the dark and sinking corridors, and strangers formed unspoken bonds in their fight to survive. For some, survival meant leaping into the freezing waters, while others waited desperately for rescue that never came. The emotional toll of that night is etched into the memories of survivors, who recount tales of bravery and tragedy in equal measure. One story stands out, a crew member who stayed behind to help elderly passengers reach safety, sacrificing their own chance of survival. Another is of a young couple who jumped into the sea together, holding hands until they were rescued. These stories remind us of the resilience of the human spirit and the lengths people will go to protect and save one another, even in the face of unimaginable fear. In the wake of the Costa Concordia disaster, questions swirled about who was responsible. Captain Schettino quickly became the face of the tragedy, dubbed Captain Coward by the media. Investigations revealed a chilling combination of negligence, poor decision-making, and systemic failures. Schettino faced trial, accused of manslaughter, causing a shipwreck, and abandoning his passengers. But was he the only one to blame? Critics pointed fingers at the cruise line, accusing it of prioritizing profits over safety, with inadequate training and flawed emergency protocols. This scene became a battle of narratives. Was it an individual failure or a systemic one? The Costa Concordia became a case study in accountability, raising broader questions about how organizations should prepare for disasters and who should bear the blame when things go wrong. The Costa Concordia disaster sent shockwaves through the maritime industry. It wasn't just a single shipwreck, it was a wake-up call. Changes followed, stricter safety regulations, mandatory emergency drills for passengers, and improved training for crew members. The International Maritime Organization introduced new protocols, aiming to ensure that such a tragedy would never happen again. But are these changes enough? Some argue that the industry still prioritizes profit over safety, cutting corners where it matters most. This lesson extends beyond the maritime world. It's about how industries, governments, and individuals respond to disasters. Do we learn from them, or do we forget until the next tragedy strikes? The Costa Concordia serves as a powerful reminder of the importance of proactive, not reactive, safety measures. Looking back, one haunting question remains. Could the Costa Concordia disaster have been prevented? Experts believe the answer is a resounding yes. If the captain had followed standard navigation routes, if the crew had been better trained, if evacuation procedures had been enforced sooner, the tragedy could have been avoided. This realization is both sobering and infuriating. So many ifs add up to one conclusion. Human error, compounded by systemic flaws, turned a manageable situation into a nightmare. This question isn't just about the Costa Concordia, it's about every disaster, past and future. How do we learn from mistakes and ensure they aren't repeated? The answers lie in vigilance, accountability, and the courage to act when it matters most. More than a decade later, the Costa Concordia is remembered not just as a tragedy but as a lesson for the world. Its wreckage serves as a silent testament to human failure, resilience, and the need for accountability. Survivors and victims' families continue to share their stories, ensuring the disaster is never forgotten. Meanwhile, the maritime industry remains under scrutiny, with the Costa Concordia often cited as a turning point in safety practices. This legacy is about more than ships and seas, it's about humanity. It's a reminder of how fragile life is, how crucial leadership and preparedness are, and how we must never let complacency or arrogance steer our course. The Costa Concordia may be gone, but its lessons will endure.
Thanks for watching, and subscribe my channel.